What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build an AI voice agent that can book into multiple different calendars. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I've not seen anyone else making a video like this, and having worked with dozens of different businesses, the reality is that most businesses actually have different types of calendars and different types of appointment that they need a voice agent to book into. And having built these systems within my own agency, I thought it was only fair to come on here and show you guys how you could build it for yourself as well. If you are new here, my name is Matt and I'm the founder of FutureFlow AI, where we help service-based businesses implement AI voice and text agent systems so that they never waste a lead. We've helped our clients generate over $500,000 in additional revenue, and I've also personally taught over 3,000 business owners and AI enthusiasts on how to build these systems for themselves. So just to quickly run down what I'm actually going to be going through in this video, we're going to be using a dental clinic as our use case, and the agent is going to be able to book appointments for their Invisalign appointments and then also their general appointments. Now, obviously, if you are building this or trying to build this for yourself, this applies to any sort of service-based business. I'm just using dental clinics because it's easy and everyone knows what a dental clinic is, okay? So in today's video, my tech stack is going to be Retell to build the AI voice agent, N8N to create the connection between the calendar and the voice agent, and then obviously HighLevel as our CRM / calendar booking system. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that this is my favorite tech stack. It's not only the tech stack that I use in my own agency, but also the tech stack that I'll implement for my clients as well. If you are new to building voice agents and you're trying to find out how to book an appointment in a GoHighLevel calendar using a Retell AI agent, then please go and watch my previous video, which I'll link somewhere up here, before you watch this one. In my previous video, I give you the sort of foundational aspects of how to actually book appointments, and this video is a continuation of that. So if you are new, please go and watch the previous video before you come and watch this video. But if you have watched that video or you are already experienced with booking appointments into the GoHighLevel calendar using a Retell agent, then keep watching. So in order to create a dual or multi-calendar booking voice agent, I've broken it down into three very simple components. The first component is optimizing your voice agent prompt. You have to tell the agent it is capable of booking appointments into different calendars, and then also telling the agent what users qualify for what calendars. The second is we are going to be adding one extra property to our calendar function calls. Now, if you have watched my previous video or you already have experience of booking appointments into the GoHighLevel calendar using a Retell agent, you'll know that we actually have two separate function calls. We have a get availability function call to go and check for available slots in the calendar, and then we have a schedule appointment function, which is actually going to go and book the appointment. So in today's video, we're only going to be adding one extra property to each of those function calls, and it's really, really simple, okay? The third and final thing is using an extra switch module inside of our N8N so that we can actually route our function calls to the appropriate calendar that we are trying to check the availability or schedule the appointment in. I hope all of that makes sense. If it doesn't, the rest of this video will make it make sense. And with that being said, let's jump into our voice agent prompt. Okay, so here we are inside of our demo voice agent prompt. At the top here, you can see it's our Bright Smile Dental dual booking demo. The name of the agent has nothing to do with actually booking appointments into multiple calendars. That's just for my own organizational purposes. But what I want to focus on just now is how I've actually optimized the prompt, and I've made, I think it's 5 optimizations throughout the prompt. I'm just going to go through them with you just now. So the first optimization that I've done is inside of the context section of the prompt. So the context section is just telling the agent, you know, what it's doing, why it's there, what's its sort of purpose. And you can see here that I've put in important the practice has two types of appointments. We've got general appointments and then telling the agent what classifies as a general appointment, and then Invisalign appointments and what classifies as an Invisalign appointment, okay? And then finally, you'll need to identify which type of appointment the caller needs based on their inquiry. So that's the first optimization of the prompt that we've done to help it understand that it can book into multiple different calendars, okay? The second optimization is inside of our task section of the prompt. So in here you can see your goal is to welcome the caller warmly, but then understand what dental issue or service they need help with and determine if they need a general or Invisalign appointment. So again, we're just reiterating to the agent that there is two different types of appointments, and it is up to the agent to find out what appointment that the user needs so that the agent can book the appropriate appointment or book into the appropriate calendar, okay? The third optimization is inside of our conversational flow. Sometimes people call this conversational stages or whatever you want to call it, is in our stage 2, where we identify the issue and the appointment type. So listen to what brought them to the call, ask about their dental concern or what service they're looking for, and then determine the appointment type. And in this part of the prompt, we're actually giving the agent a bit more context as to what users would be classified as an Invisalign appointment and what user would be classified as a general appointment. And whatever sort of niche or business that you're trying to build this for, this is just where you describe, you know, what service that each user would be best to book into. So if we look at the Invisalign one, if they mention Invisalign, clear aligners, or straightening their teeth, then that would be an Invisalign appointment. For all other dental services like checkups, cleanings, fillings, pain, etc., that would be a general appointment. So we're just telling the agent very clear cut what is an Invisalign appointment and what is a general appointment. And then finally, if you are unclear, ask, is this for Invisalign or for a general appointment? Couldn't get any clearer than that. The fourth optimization that we've made to the prompt is actually in the get availability section of our conversation flow. So if you watched the previous video and you downloaded the previous resources, you'll recognize this sort of prompt structure. But the one thing that we have added is just underneath when we tell the agent to run the function, we're actually telling the agent exactly what to output for the extra property that we've added to our function call. So the second component of adding the extra property to our function call, in the prompt, we're telling the agent what to output for that extra property. So if we actually just go to our functions and we go to get availability, you can see that I've added an extra property called appointment type. And in here, I have described it, the type of appointment to check availability for, use general for standard dental services like checkups, cleanings, fillings, etc. and Invisalign for Invisalign consultations and treatments. So that is the second component that we've added into the mix there. And actually what I've done is I've made this an enum property, which means that it can only output general or Invisalign, and that becomes important when we move on to our NAN workflow, because we do use deterministic workflows and we need the syntax, i.e. the capitalization, punctuation of this property's output to be exact every single time, okay? So in our prompt, the fourth prompt optimization that we made was telling the agent to set the appointment type, i.e. this new property inside of our function call, the appointment type property, set appointment type parameter to either general or Invisalign based on what you identified in stage 2. Because in stage 2, we've given the agent instructions on how to determine what is the appointment type. So after stage 2, the agent will already know what appointment type that it should be booking into. We just carry on that knowledge into the next stages of the prompt. The next optimization is just inside of the schedule appointment stage, and it's the exact same as we did in the get availability. We're just telling the agent to set the appointment type parameter to the same value they used when they checked the availability. So essentially just saying to the agent, whatever you output up here, output the same down here in this second function call. The final prompt optimization that we have made is in our function usage guidelines. Now, this is a section of the prompt where we're just giving the agent a bit more context on how and when to use the function calls. So you can see here that for this agent, we only have two main function calls, which is get availability and schedule appointment. And in the description, you can see that I've written always set the appointment type parameter to either general or Invisalign based on the service they need. So just like reaffirming to the agent that there is a new property in the function calls called appointment type, and you need to output either general or Invisalign for that property. You can see that I've just put the exact same instruction for schedule appointment as well, because the way that we've set up our get availability and schedule appointment functions is we've added the exact same property. So appointment type or appointment underscore type, enum, general slash or Invisalign. And then for schedule appointment, we've done the exact same. We've included this new property called appointment type, description, exactly the same, and then enum, general, or Invisalign. So we've actually covered the first two components of how to optimize your agent so that it can book into multiple different calendars. Now what we're going to do is jump into NAN and show you how we are using switch modules in order to actually successfully check the availability and schedule appointments into different calendars using the extra property that we've just created in our function call. I hope you're still following along. Okay, so here we are inside of our NAN workflow. This workflow is set up to obviously check the calendar availability and schedule appointments into the correct calendars. And I've tried to color code it to make this make more sense for you guys. So I hope I've done that effectively. But if we just go up to our check calendar availability section first, so what's going to happen is our get availability function call is going to come into this webhook here. We're then going to route the function calls to their correct paths using the tool name. Using the function name. So get availability, schedule appointment. We're using those exact syntax to route the function calls to the appropriate flows. So when our get availability function call comes in, it comes into the webhook, comes to the switchboard, comes up here. Now this set variables module is, you don't really need to have it in there, but I like to have it in there to organize my information for me. So if I just open it up, we have my API key here, which is obviously blurred out. And then we have our general appointment calendar ID and then our Invisalign appointment calendar ID. Then we have our time zone, start date and end date, which is very similar to, it's exactly the same as what we had in the previous video, or if you've built this before, just keep that exactly the same. The only thing that we've added in here is the extra calendar ID that we want to check the availability for. So in my example, we have general appointment calendar ID and then Invisalign appointment calendar ID. And you'll see further on in the automation why I actually like to set these in the variables module rather than directly inputting them inside of the different HTTP requests. So now, if we look at the automation, this is the first switchboard that we've added that we wouldn't have normally added for a single calendar booking agent. And it's the switchboard which is going to decipher whether this is a general appointment or an Invisalign appointment. So in this switchboard, what we're using is we're using the property appointment type from our function call. So this is the new property that we've added to our function calls inside of Retell, and we're saying if the appointment type property is equal to general, then go and check the general calendar. If our appointment type is equal to Invisalign, then go and check the Invisalign calendar. Now, when I was talking about before, setting this as an enum and making sure that it can only output general or Invisalign written exactly how I've written it, the reason for that is because these are deterministic workflows. So for example, if the agent output, general with a capital G, that would come up as false because it's not equal to general or the exact way that we have spelt it here. So it's really important that you guys understand the importance of syntax when building deterministic workflows like this. But if we did just keep carrying on, let's imagine that our function call has come in, it's for a general appointment, so the appointment type property has output general, so then our function call will come up to this HTTP request here, which is going to check for any free slots in the calendar which we've identified. So if I jump in here, we can see here that in our URL, we've now got our set variables, which is our general appointment calendar ID. Then the rest of it is exactly as it is before. So we have our start date, which we get from our set variables as well. We have our end date, which we get from our set variables, and we have our time zone, which we get from our set variables. We then also have our API key, which we have input in our set variables module, and then the rest of the HTTP request. And in our Invisalign, it is the exact same, except we're using the Invisalign appointment calendar ID set variable module. So I hope that you guys can understand how you're using this switch module to actually decide which calendar that we want to check the availability for. And we do the exact same thing in our schedule appointment automation. Now with the schedule appointment, it's a little bit different because when you're actually booking appointments into GoHighLevel, the person has to have some sort of contact record. So what I like to do in my automations is actually check to see if this person is a contact already in the HighLevel. So this search GoHighLevel module is just checking my HighLevel account to see if the person who's calling is already a contact within the HighLevel CRM. If they are not a contact, what we're going to do is we're going to create a contact and then schedule the appointment. But if they are a contact, then we can jump straight to scheduling the appointment. Now, like I said before, the schedule appointment end-to-end workflow switch module works the exact same way as the get availability one. So if we go into our calendar switch module here, you can see that we're using the exact same function property, the appointment type, and the setup is exactly the same. If the appointment type is equal to general, then book into their general appointments calendar. But if the appointment type function property is equal to Invisalign, then book into the Invisalign calendar. And the create appointment HTTP requests are very, very similar to the get free slots. So if I go into my create appointment HTTP request, I scroll down, you can see that this is where the API key goes, our versions in there, we have our calendar ID. So if we go to our set variables module at the back here, we've input our different calendar IDs here. So our general appointment calendar ID and our Invisalign appointment calendar ID. And then we're just dropping those inside of our HTTP requests for the different calendars. So obviously because this is a general appointment, let's actually just rename this general appointment so you guys can kind of understand here. So because this is our general appointment HTTP request, we have our general appointment calendar ID, we have our location ID, we have our contact ID, and then we have our start time. And the exact same is inside of our Invisalign, except the calendar ID is our Invisalign calendar ID. So if I just scroll down here, you can see we've got the API key, we've got the calendar ID, which is now the Invisalign appointment calendar ID, and then the rest of it is exactly the same. So location ID, contact ID, and start time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the three components that we use to create dual/multi-calendar booking voice agents. Okay, so now you guys can understand how we are using all three components to create a dual/multi-calendar booking voice agent. I'm going to show you it live in action. I'm going to have the end workflow execution tab open so that you can see it actually happening live. I'm not going to make you listen to the full call, but I'll just kind of cut the bits where I'm saying what type of appointment that I am actually looking for, and then show you that actually happening in real time, showing you the appointments being booked in the different calendars inside of my GoHighLevel as well. So first off, I'm going to check for the availability and book a general appointment.
Hello, you've reached Bright Dental. My name is Emma and I am an AI agent, but I promise I'm not going to hack your phone. How can I help you today?
Hey Emma, I've got a bit of a sore tooth and I was hoping I could book an appointment, please.
I'm so sorry to hear about your sore tooth. Let's get you seen as soon as possible. What day would work best for you to come in for your appointment?
Could I book for What time do you have available for tomorrow?
Let me just check the schedule for tomorrow to see what times we have available for a general appointment. We have several times available tomorrow. Would 1 p.m., 3 p.m., or 4 p.m. work for you?
Yeah, 1 p.m. works perfect.
Great, I'll book you in for 1 p.m. tomorrow. Could I also have your email address to complete the booking and send your confirmation?
Yeah, it's mat@gmail.com.
Booking that in for you now? Perfect, Matt. You're all booked in for tomorrow at 1 p.m. You'll receive a confirmation email shortly. Thank you for choosing Bright Smile Dental Practice. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's perfect, thank you.
You're very welcome, Matt. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
So you can see that in our get availability function, the calendar switch module routed it up to our general appointments, which checked for available slots. And then in our schedule appointment function, it found me as a contact because I was using my own phone number. It then went to the calendar switch, which then routed it up to the general appointment and then booked the appointment for me. If we then come into my HighLevel, you can see that I've selected Bright Dental General Appointments and the appointment has now been booked inside HighLevel as well. Now I'll quickly do the exact same demonstration, but basically speak to the agent as if I'm looking for an Invisalign consultation and show you the agent and system booking into the alternative calendar.
Hello, you've reached Bright Dental. My name is Emma and I am an AI agent, but I promise I'm not going to hack your phone. How can I help you today?
Hey Emma, I saw one of your ads online about the Invisalign and I was just wondering if I could come in for an appointment about that.
Thank you so much for calling about Invisalign. I'd be happy to help you book a consultation. What day would work best for you to come in for your Invisalign consultation?
I could come in tomorrow.
Let me just check the schedule for tomorrow to see what Invisalign consultation times are available. We have several Invisalign consultation times available tomorrow. Would 1:30 p.m., 3 p.m., or 3:30 p.m. work for you?
The 1:30 sounds great.
Perfect. I'll book you in for tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. You're all set, Matt. I've booked you in for your Invisalign consultation tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. You'll receive a confirmation email shortly. Thank you for choosing Bright Smile Dental Practice. Is there anything else?
So, as you can see from the live executions in our NAN, the first execution for the get availability successfully routed down to the Invisalign appointment and checked for available slots. And then the schedule appointment function successfully routed the function call down to our Invisalign appointment module and successfully booked the appointment inside of our Invisalign appointment calendar. And just for extra proof, here is the two appointments side by side in the calendar. I probably should have marked them as different colors to make that a bit easier to understand. But you can see that the top one here is the Bright Dental General Appointment, and then the second one is our Bright Dental Invisalign appointment. So we have reached the end of the video. If you've made it this far, I just want to say a massive thank you. I hope you guys got a ton of value from this video. And as always, all of the resources that were used in this video are available for free inside of the Voice Agent Vault, which you can find in the link down below. And apart from that, I have nothing else to say. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.